So the idea is that you need to stay in front of people all the time, really, so that when the conditions are right, whatever they may be, the whole set of conditions, the combination of it all, that you're there and you've been there the whole time. So now there's a familiarity because they've been getting a message from you every month. You have some not motivated, but motivated, again, motivated is, it's a spectrum, right? So like that, not motivated today is different than not motivated when, in some cold climates when a winter storm blows through, right? Because now if it's an absentee property, rental issues, all this kind of stuff. So again, there's disruptors in the market always. If you're not going to get really complicated and say, okay, when this disruption happens, I'm going to do this action, which is very hard to do. And I don't recommend trying to get so granular because it's very hard to build that out. But if you're not going to do that, then what do? You just say, okay, well, these disruption things come up every 2 months, 3 months, whatever the timetable is for them. And just say, okay, I'm just going to stay in front of people, right? There's a phrase. Have you guys heard the phrase omnipresence when it comes to marketing? So the idea is that you need to stay in front of people all the time, really, so that when the conditions are right, whatever they may be, the whole set of conditions, the combination of it all, that you're there and you've been there the whole time. So now there's a familiarity because they've been getting a message from you every month or every whatever your frequency is. So like Henry, I know you've been doing lead gen, paying for it and doing it yourself and doing this. Like you've got to be sitting on a ton of leads, right, in your system. And for you, Henry, because this is a good point for other people as well, because there's teams and individuals on here. For you, Henry, all those leads that you have you been calling them yourself, or have you had like an acquisitions person or a VA? Like once this stuff hits your CRM, outside of the cold stuff, once it hits your CRM, who's been handling those mostly? Because that's another factor, guys, right? Like if you tested out a VA or an acquisitions person, and they didn't work out, then like presumably there's some people they talked to where they just didn't have a good conversation, right? Yeah, I mean, 700. Like, so Henry, you're sitting on 700 that have already gone through that whole front end process. And you're saying a VA's called them and do a follow-up, like, So the immediate question is like only once, or has it been 3 to 5 times? Have they mixed up the hours? I can't stress enough, guys. It's so simple. I know, but we just forget it so much. We talk about like the human, remember the human element. You're trying to get in touch with the human. You have to make multiple calls in essentially 3 different windows. Okay. Your 3 windows are during the week, 9 to 5. So working hours, normal business hours. Okay. That's one. The second window is during the week, off business hours. So 6 to 8 p.m. in your time zone, 6 to 8 p.m. And then the third window is a Saturday, usually about midday, early afternoon. Right? So those 3 windows. So in your follow-ups of trying to get people, these, people you haven't talked to, people that your VAs have been trying to get in touch with, people that you've been trying to get back in the phone. We're talking in your pipeline now, guys, like CRM, all this stuff has already happened into your CRM forward. You need to have the right initial follow-up processes happening to make sure you maximize the ability to talk to them, right? So maximize the connection rate. And what do I mean by maximize the connection rate? What's your connection rate now? How do you double it? Just try and double it and then see what happens. I'm not saying you're going to double it, but by thinking that way, you're going to go like, okay, what's the actions I can do to do it? And then you're going to increase it. So it kind of depends where you're starting from. But when I mean double it too, I don't mean like, you don't want to double it in a way to where you're having bad connections, right? It's a healthy doubling, or it's a healthy increase because you're having more connections that are still good. What's a prime example of that? So like a prime example of how not to do it, in my opinion, is the double tap, triple tap, going, back to back, that kind of stuff. It's very aggressive. The phone number, like people see that on their phone. To me, that doesn't help your cause of what you're trying to do, right? You're not just trying to like get them on the phone really quickly see what's up and then lose them immediately, right? You're not trying to get them to like get pissed off and want to go away, get off the list. You're trying to engage a conversation with them. So by doing some of these pre-actions aggressively, I don't think it sets you up for that conversation the right way. So there is that's where the KPIs really matter, right? Is it connection rate we're focused on only? No, it's connection rate plus, whatever the next metric down the line is.